Welcome, Coffee Pods and Wads. We've got Jamie from Method Training, CrossFit Northumbria in the UK. Second highest signups on Earth for the Open, which is pretty crazy. And we've got Johnny Davies. Where were you, like seventh or something for Open signups?
No, I think we were like 15th worldwide, something like that. 15, 16.
How many members have you got?
275, I think.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Still to be top 20. 275.
Yeah, we should have had more, but
next year. Johnny, will you turn your phone sideways and then it might get rid of those two black lines?
Is that better?
No, there we go.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Okay. So I've been to both of your gyms. Oh, actually, I should say before we start, Onya, I'm pretty sure that QR code isn't working. It was working up until today, but I think it's not working anymore because I think my free trial with that website that makes QR codes ended. But if you DM me or email me or contact me in some way, if you're an affiliate owner, Onya will sort all your merchandise. I don't have a hoodie with me, but they have a catalog, and then you log on and you browse their catalog, you pick the items, you upload your logo, you get sent, if you go through me, you get sent what do you call them, prototypes or testers, and then you can, it's actually really easy. It's crazy easy because I thought it was going to be a nightmare setting it up, but it is actually really easy. And I have a video that I haven't made yet of a girl who owns an affiliate who said, my God, it just took so much stress out of her life being able to just go click, 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 done, and then it's in her gym. Within like 48 hours she had a shop or a store online, and our members could go to, and that's pretty crazy. She heard about it on this show, which is equally crazy. Didn't think anybody listened. All right, Jamie, how was that Method at the weekend for 25.3? Johnny, I've been to your gym in the past. I plan on returning. So two of the most impressive facilities I've been to, which is why I wanted both of you on to talk about business, because both of you seem to approach it in a very different way, but you're both successful in maybe by different metrics, but successful. Like you've both got successful gyms and growing gyms and thriving communities, as we've just seen with the Open signups. I mean, that's a pretty good indicator for where the community is at and stuff. Jamie, how would you describe yourself as a gym owner? What type? Like, are you? I feel like you're not the archetypal classic CrossFit affiliate owner.
I can see you smiling as you're saying that.
Yeah, you don't strike me as a spit and sawdust type.
I would say that probably on the side of OCD for the which actually, to be fair, there's quite a few gym owners I think are like that. I've been to Johnny's gym before as well. I haven't been to the new one. I went to the old one, and there was a place for everything, and everything was in its place, and I like that. So I'm like that. We just follow the data. Like we run everything off metrics. Everything's quite systematic, as I think you saw when you were up. And that's how we things.
What kind of metrics are you looking at? Like as in retention of members or new members coming in, or like what do you look for?
Yeah, so we track like loads each week. We track how effective our advertising is, so paid ads and organic reach. We then track how many of those leads have come through to the website. So we track the number of interactions on the website on different pages. Then that funnels down to the number of people that have sent through communications and become like what we call like an interested party. We want to keep all of that really high at this side as much as we can. And then from there, interested parties would become show rounds or trialists. Then they would become 21-day members. They go through to like a 21-day trial. Then from there, they have to become members, and hopefully from there, like advocates. And
what's a trial, like a free trial for 21 days?
No, we don't do any free trials. When we did free trials, they weren't. There wasn't any value there, so it was just. They
were tire kickers. You can say it. They're tire kickers.
Yeah. So we do 21 days for 50 quid.
How do you? That's pretty good actually. How do you do the? How do you track that? So do you have? You just look at the back end of the website, like how many views on the website, and then you look at how many clicks or form fills or whatever there was, and then how many actual bodies walked through the door. Is that it?
Exactly that, yeah. And we track a lot. We track the number of phone calls out. You know, how many times we've had to contact people to try and, you know, it's a big step them coming in and trying a new gym. So, you know, it can take up to like 6-10 inquiries to get someone through the door if they're unsure.
So I go onto your website and I fill in a form, and then fill in my details. You call me, or someone calls me and says, "Hey, we saw you looking at Method. We'd love to have you down, etc., etc." I'm sure there's like a better way of saying it than I just said it. And then I say, "Oh yeah, like next week, maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday," and then I don't show up, and then you call again.
Yeah, and again and again and again until we get told where to go. Usually, what we do though, so say you've submitted your details on the website, there's been a catalyst for you to take that action, and the strength of that catalyst is the greatest within like 60 minutes after you've done it. So you would say for like the gold standard for our reception and like intake staff, they have to get back to someone within 60 minutes, because at that point, if we leave it longer than that, the conversion rate drops off a cliff.
And that's been discovered over time, like by you guys.
If you think about it, it's like something has prompted you to take action on your health and fitness or change your current routine or something. And you might go and like pick up the kids, or you might go and, you know, go to the shops, and then you come back and that's dropped off massively. Doesn't feel like as good a time to do it. So we've got to get.
You bought a cake or something.
Chose the other route.
Where does it say on? Is there a space on your form or on your website, or whatever? Where did you hear of us, or where have you got that? Do you look at that? And what's your highest?
Sorry, no, there's not. I think the more details we put on there, the worse the conversion was. It's literally just name, email, phone. Afterwards, when we call them, we'll say like, "Are you a referral? Did you find us through, you know, social media, Google?"
What's the most common answer?
So it's mostly referral, to be honest.
Like word of mouth.
Yeah, referral, and a lot of our members. We've been doing this for nearly 11 years. So a lot of our, let's not say new members, but a lot of members coming in are old members. You know, a big source of our next members are going to be people who've already been members, and maybe something changed in their life.
Yeah.
You know?
Susan wants to know, do you guys steal toilet paper from other facilities too? Save some money. Because it's funny, like the website, I guess I would have assumed websites are kind of a thing of the past, that like, you know, it's all social media, like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, that's the type of stuff is where you reach more people, rather than like I'd akin a website to a brick and mortar store, whereas now everybody just goes to Amazon or whatever. Because it seems like you've tried everything. Did you try not having a website and then having it and compare the two, or no?
No, we've always had a website. We've always had that place where people can go and get more information. But in the beginning, I think I thought the website was a way, it's like a bit of it was almost like a display cabinet. It was like, you know, this is what we do. This is us. This is like projecting outward. But the website is literally just a storefront that it has to attract new people. It's not really about current members. They don't go there. They never, once they've been through the process, they'll never go back to the website again. They'll just book on using the app. So it has to be something that's going to answer the questions that people have and reservations as quickly as possible, I think.
I think I have it here, actually. Yeah, it's website there, isn't it?
Oh, now you're putting us on the spot, aren't you?
Johnny, do you have a website? Does 179 have a website?
Yeah. We haven't always had it. We've only had it for the last maybe year and a half, 2 years.
Do you put as much stock in it as wow, I looked at videos and everything. Do you put as much stock in it as Jamie does? Like, do you track it as much, or
no, we don't do any advertising.
It's just pure word of mouth.
Word of mouth and social media is the big one for us. We do get messages through the website, but it's like our website's super simple. It's like schedule what the classes we do and then how to get in touch. Yeah, we've never done. I think I'm going to start looking into Google ads and Instagram ads, that type of thing, just to grow a little bit more. But because we're still relatively new, all of our members have come from word of mouth, like current members, or seems to be social media. I would say 25% come from the website, but we don't track any of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I suppose is like, Johnny, is your approach then more so that you program and coach and you focus on programming and coaching in the facility, and then the members, I mean, we talked about the kind of natural selection of members or whatever within a community, that they tend to all end up having similar traits and stuff. Is your idea then that will automatically lead to referrals and people saying, hey, you should come down and etc., maybe like bring a friend days and that kind of stuff, whereas then compared to Jamie's approach differs from yours in that he's actively seeking external people to come in regularly? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yes. My role in the gym is different, from when we first started to 2 years ago to a year ago to now, because again, we're still relatively new. So 2 years ago, I was taking every single class, so I didn't have much time to do anything else. I would just program, do the classes, eat and sleep, basically. But now we've got more staff. Now I've got more time to sort of do more of the admin type of thing. So now I do spend a little bit more time looking at attendance monthly and attendance on certain classes and attendance for certain individuals, like how much they're coming in. I look at why people cancel their memberships, and it's usually because they're moving away or change of jobs or whatever. So yeah, all that stuff is new to me now, but it's something that we are going to look at. Well, me and my business partner are going to look at in the next 3 months or so, because now I don't have to take every single class, so I can focus on building the gym up from behind the scenes type thing. But we've never done any sort of advertising. We try and just like, our social media is always like just show people. We're almost trying to show the members off. It's not we don't look at it as trying to attract people in. It's like giving people like documented memories of, if they repost their story now, they'll get the memory of it a year ago and be like, can I remember when I was only back squatting an empty barbell? Now I can do this. It's just like another way of showing them they're improving. And then they share that, and that's just natural advertising for us. That's the way we've always done it.
I think that's probably the most common affiliate start, Jamie. Would it be that there's someone opens a gym, like probably 99% of affiliates start as someone opening a gym, working themselves into the ground by taking every class, trying to do absolutely everything themselves because there's basically no alternative for most at the start. How do you get out of that? Like, does every gym owner that does that have sort of a wake-up call of like, oh shit, I need to change something here? Or is it a time served thing and like an income thing that you have to get to a certain point before you can remove yourself from doing everything?
Yeah, it's a common story that I hear from other affiliates, and it's one that I've definitely been through. So I think we all start out as really passionate people, really passionate trainers, and we are technicians at what we do. So we are coaches first. There's actually, I suppose there's a little bit more now from CrossFit about business, but when I got started, there was nothing, like absolutely nothing. So your product spoke for itself, but like that's okay. But there's, we get referrals in, but at some point we need to change over to being to getting some business skills. And we spoke a bit about this when you were up. So after the first like 2 years of having CrossFit Northumbria, doing morning, evening, all the other stuff that going with that, I was absolutely burnt out. And I went on like a affiliate business seminar with a guy called Ty Arnett from the Affiliate Solution. And it was just an absolute game changer. And he gave me a bit more of a roadmap how to move from doing the classes to working on the business rather than in the business. I know that's a bit cliche and a bit, but it was a big change for us. So I think it just depends what you want. Like, it depends what your success is out of it, what your definition of success. I still love teaching classes. I've done the morning classes today, and then I still love coaching, but I've got other people who can coach. There's not that many people who can drive the business forward, and there's a lot of people who can fill the other seats, but I think the job of the founder is to really try and push the mission forwards, and that takes a lot of time. Yeah.
How many coaches do you have?
We have got 11.
And what, like part-time, all full-time, some part-time mix?
So we call them like full focus. That, like, if you think doing a day of classes, like if you do the morning, we've got 3 shifts. We've got the morning, we've got the mid, and we've got the evening. If you do the morning, you're up at 5:30. You'll do the 6, 7, 8, then the 9:30. Then you'll do any of your sort of jobs that you need to do, and then that's you done for the day. I don't really want to give any coaches more than 4 shifts in a row, 4 classes in a row. By the 4th one, they're just like zombies. You know, I feel like an hour of coaching is like 2 hours of regular work. So if they are only going to get that like 4 hours of work per day, so if they do that 5 days a week and take 2 days off, they've only got 20 hours of coaching in them, really, unless we're going to burn them out. So they'll do 20 hours of coaching on a full focus contract, and then they'll make a lot of with personal training, which is not as intense as doing classes. Like, after 22 people is it's fun, but it's tiring.
What kind of other job? You said they do their other jobs and then go home. What kind of other jobs?
So, like facility maintenance, making sure the place is like spick and span and all the rest of that, and we don't have external cleaning staff. We do it all ourselves, and I still do it myself. And I think it's akin to, like, if you're in the fire service, you keep your fire truck clean. You know, you make sure it's well maintained and squared away. So I want our members of staff to do that as well, to be proud of the facility, and then coach the best classes possible as well.
So are all 11 coaches full focus coaches?
No, not all of them. Not all of them. That we've got like two, maybe 3 of them that are still working full-time jobs outside of coaching. So they'll still do 2 shifts a week.
How many coaches have you got, Johnny?
10, I think. 10, 5 full-time, and then 5 part-time.
Okay. Do you think that's where a lot of gym owners come from, or, you know, a large cohort of gym owners come from, is coaches who, because like it's a hard gig to get a career out of. Like, it's a hard, as in, you can coach and you can do some classes and you can maybe even coach a lot of classes, but it's not really the stability required if you want to go down the traditional route of getting a mortgage and all that kind of shit. Like, it's kind of hard if you're going in saying, yeah, I coach part-time at a CrossFit gym, and the bank is probably thinking, fuck off, like, I'm not giving you a mortgage. Do you think that's where a lot of affiliate owners maybe come from? People who are like, there's nowhere to go, like, I'm just coaching, and then what's next? Like, what's my next? Like, if you're an accountant, you have, like, you know, a ladder you can climb, or if you're, I don't know, in the police or whatever, you have a ladder you can climb. Johnny, have you found, like, from going around doing the level 1s and 2s and stuff, that's where maybe coaches come from? Is that the career trajectory is like, you coach and then, well, I guess I'll open my own gym because I want the profits for myself, or I want to do it my way?
A lot of people that open affiliates, from what I've spoken to, is they're in full-time jobs in different careers, and then they're like, I can't stand this, I'm miserable every day, and then they find CrossFit and they're like, this might be something I actually want to do for a career. They do the level 1, they start coaching.
Oh no,
he might come back. He's probably still talking. Annoyingly for him, he's probably still talking. Would you agree with what I said there about the kind of career?
Yeah, in the beginning, I speak to this with a couple of other affiliate owners who've been there for a long time. Like in the beginning, either coached and you did like an energy trade. So you'd say, right, I want to get into coaching. I'll coach in exchange for my membership. There was that route, or you opened a gym. There was nothing in between. There was very little like paid work. There was absolutely no mention of contracts or salaries or benefits or anything like that. But that has definitely changed. We do a system where when a coach comes in, they'll do our intern process. So they'll kick things off being an intern. They'll have to do, well, they do 250 hours of interning. At the 250 hour mark, they will move to being like a development coach. So they'll get a salary as a development coach. When they've done 750 hours coaching, we'll put them through the level 2 and we'll give them a bump up in their salary. Then they'll do 1,500 hours, and then they'll get like a catalyst or CrossFit weightlifting or some next qualification paid by us, and then they'll go onto the band. So by the end of it, they can make like a really good wage when it's combined with the personal training and the like elite level coaching staff. And then at the end of ours, we're pretty unique in if you do like 6,000 hours, which seems like a monumental amount of hours, and it is a lot. You can apply to be a shareholder, so you can get dividends.
Okay, how many years is 6,000 like on average? What's that, like 5, 6 years?
So we've got.
Has anybody done it? Oh, you're gone. Your sound is gone. Man, we're having some nightmare. I think your headphones died, maybe. Maybe. Wow. Okay, you try and sort that. Can't hear you. I'll answer this question. So how many members does Method have? RJ, how wants to know? I'm pretty. Oh, you're back. How many? Just quickly answer. It's like 380 or something. Is it members?
How many members we got at the moment?
Yeah.
So there was 364 regular, and then I think there was about 28 masters this morning. 368 plus 24, 392.
And how many did you have in the open? 340. 322. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry. So you've been this is your 11th year. Has anybody gotten to the shareholder point?
Yeah, the guy sitting to my left in the office, Mark.
Wow. Okay. And how many years has he been there?
8 years, Mark. 9 years.
9, I'd probably say we're probably coming up to it.
9. Oh, we don't want to see Mark. Don't worry.
9 years.
9 years. Okay. Okay. So it is possible. He's proof. Johnny, sorry, you probably got a call or something. Go back there with the owner. Most owners you come across are people who do something else, dislike it, realize it, probably prefer to CrossFit and do that instead, rather than what I suggested of the coaching frustration.
That's what I see most of all. Yeah, there's people that are in a job somewhere else. That's what I was. I was a carpenter before I did any of the CrossFit stuff, and I hated it. And then I found CrossFit, and then I started coaching slowly, and then I opened my own affiliate sort of by accident. But yeah, I would say most people on the level 1, they are in different careers and they want to go and open their own gym after level 1. Maybe not immediately, but like start coaching and open their own gym in the future.
Yeah. When you were gone there, Jamie was bringing us through his kind of career path or whatever at Method. Is there something similar at 179? Do you do that, like where there's different stages of different levels of coach, I guess, or different like career trajectory for them?
Yeah, so we have all our coaches come through the membership. So once they start, they'll start shadowing until they're ready to start coaching classes. Then we'll give them some simpler classes, like on Sundays, like an endurance class. So it's much, lower skill. There's a lot less going on. There's lots more people. So they can just practice managing a large group of people without having to worry about coaching anything too complex. and then we slowly bring them into the classes. And then once they get experienced enough, like Ben and Janine, they got given their own programs basically. So Janine runs the kids program. She takes care of that 100% completely. She also runs a gymnastic program. She takes care of that 100% completely, and any money that they earn through that, they keep. Ben does our CrossFit classes, but he also gets the weightlifting program, so he runs that completely by himself. And if it's popular and the classes are busy, then we will obviously open up more spots and give them more classes and so on and so forth. That's how we sort of develop them. And then I'll probably be in the future looking for someone to take on more responsibility in terms of admin stuff, like not the programming, but maybe some day-to-day gym admin. We're just organizing other coaches, schedules, covering classes. Because I think, like when I started coaching, I think if you're an affiliate owner that coaches all of the classes, I think that will get you to a certain point, and then you're going to have to start to bring in more coaches to get to the next level, and then so on and so forth. I think you have to be people through to free up your time to work on other parts of the business that they can't work on.
Yeah. How many classes, Johnny, per day on average are there in the gym, like total? Oh my God, is he frozen again? I don't believe it. Fuck. Jamie, how many classes in your gym?
So 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8, 9:30. Some days 10:30, masters, lunchtime, 4, 5, 6, and 8, 12.
12 classes. And it opens at 5:30.
5:30 is when the staff will go in. It opens at 6 a.m. So like, I mean, members will be like milling around, kind of foam rolling, getting warm, stretching out like before the 6 a.m. Not, some of them arrive at like 5:59, 59, just with you rolling out of bed, as you can imagine. But yeah, so 5:30 is when the staff start, and 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. is our last class. So they'll leave and lock up somewhere between like 9:30 and 9:45. Broken down into 3 shifts, but the reception staff do it in 2 shifts.
The reception staff are different from coaches.
Yeah, so they work. So the limiting factor on the coaches is literally the quality of the service that they can give after they've done 4 hours back to back. You're just like, you're fried, like absolutely fried. Whereas the reception staff, I feel like the cadence and the intensity of their hours isn't. I'm not saying it's easier, but they can work like the full 8 hours. So they'll split that into 2 shifts.
Okay. And how many reception staff do you have?
There's 4 reception staff and a general manager.
Right, that's a bit better there now, isn't it, visually?
Mm.
I'm 99% sure Johnny's not going to come back. I think his Wi-Fi is screwed. Okay, so 4 reception staff, full time. Are they full time as well? Like, are they? What did you call it? Full focus? Are they full focus reception staff?
Full focus. Yeah, somewhere around like the 35-hour mark. Laura, who does like more of the managerial stuff, and she handles a lot of like the intake and the retention. So if you get a phone call after you've submitted a form, it's probably going to be from Laura. She does 29, 30 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, they're absolutely invaluable. They're the difference in the business. Like they're absolutely incredibly valuable having front desk staff.
Because a lot wouldn't do that. Like a lot of gyms don't do that. A lot of gyms have, like the gym I used to go to, the owners. So sometimes the wife, I don't know, the female owner was she had a job, but if she wasn't at her job, she'd be there and she'd be like the front of house staff or whatever. And then if she wasn't there, and this is in the period of time that, you know, we were talking about earlier on, where he was coaching everything himself, he'd have that moment where he's like standing on the floor, like maybe coaching someone through a snatch or something, looks at the door and someone walks in, and it's like you're caught between a rock and a hard place of, do I abandon the class to go over to this person who could be an extra source of revenue and a new member and etc., or do I just make them stand there awkwardly because I can't just stop what I'm doing? So I guess that's the reception staff eradicate that problem completely then.
They do, yeah. So the moment you walk through the door, so or even before that, if you pick up the phone and you want some information, there is always someone there who's going to pick up the phone and give you that information. So there's no delay in that. It's not like I'm going to be coaching the classes, the phone's going to ring out and I'm going to call you back in whatever 4 hours time when I'm finished and I'm tidied up and I'm kind of got myself together. It's instantaneous. So again, what we were saying about the conversions, if there's someone to connect with you when the motivation's as high as it can be, then we feel like the conversion is going to be much, much higher. But then when someone walks through the door, they're not going to walk straight through onto the gym floor. They walk into our reception shop area. They're greeted by a member of staff at the desk. How you doing? How did you find out about us? Or all that sort of stuff. And they'll give them a tour of the place, tell them where they need to be. And this doesn't interrupt the flow of the coaching. The coach can coach. The reception staff can make sure that that person's comfortable and all questions are answered before they come onto the gym floor. So how we do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then because you both of you have coffee shops, Johnny, yours is like an external person running it, Johnny, is it?
Yeah. The containers outside of
is that connected to your business, or is it just on the business site? Do you know what I mean?
It's just, yes, on the business. It's on our gym site, but we don't run it. It's one of the girls at the gym owns a coffee shop down in the marina in Swansea. So she's a member. So we put it to her. We wanted to open a coffee shop, but I didn't want anything to do with like trying to staff it or run it and all that headache stuff. So she was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." So we bought the container. We cleared the land. We basically kitted it all out, and then passed it over to her. And we're about 2 weeks in now.
But what do you get from that? Just coffee? Like, is there
coffee?
It's just like rent to be there or anything?
She'll pay us rent, which will just be enough to like cover the bills that we use or that she uses. But it's just like another addition to the gym.
Is this making you get sick in your mouth, Jamie?
Each to their own. I mean, when you said shipping container, I love a shipping container. I'm sitting in one now. You know, you've seen it. I think we've got 4 now. They're absolutely brilliant. But you know, we just have like slightly different approaches to it. Really, we see the value in having that social area and extra point of contact that like a coffee shop and a that can provide. We just brought it in house. And we had the space to do that, and we were lucky enough that the building layout was suitable for that. But the coffee shop and the sales from that front desk account for 1/4 of our revenue. So it's massive for us.
What do you sell? So coffee and what, like t-shirts and shit and drinks, like
coffee, drinks, teas. We sell a lot of GSN pots of gold. If you've ever had one, it's just like bang it in the microwave for 6 minutes and off you go, like frozen meals. They're really good. We sell a lot of grips, belts.
Yeah.
Everything that you that a CrossFitter might need, really.
And that stuff, is that because, like, do you sell that stuff because there was a gap? So there's 2 reasons there'd be a gap. One is that you've spotted a gap and said, oh, there's a potential revenue stream. Or the other way there's a gap is members coming saying, I wish we could be like, I wish I was able to buy whatever here. And then, you know what I mean? Like, which angle did you come at it from? Did you spot an opportunity, or was it to answer the problem from members?
So it solved a few things. So the members really enjoy being able to get like the convenience of having the products and the services that we have out of the reception desk to hand, and that social area after the session. That's like super important. The products and stuff like that, they were gonna purchase them anyway. They can kind of get our advice on the best stuff. So like we'll bypass all the rubbish grips. We're only
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
get the stuff. Like you can go and buy so many different types, and they'll go into Amazon and get the rubbish ones, and we go, no, like let's just bypass that. This is our advice from a trusted source. This is what you. And same with supplementation. If they want to go down that route, we can point them in the direction of what we choose to provide. But the ultimate goal of the coffee shop, really, it's not a massive profit source for us. In fact, most of the time it doesn't really generate any profit at all, because it's going to support 4 members of staff. It literally just covers their wages, and it's an extra service for the members. When they come through the door, they've got that friendly face. They can break down pain points for new members.
So when you say
valuable.
when you say it's 25% of our revenue, that revenue basically immediately goes to upkeeping that area, keeping it stocked and keeping it staffed, basically, more or less.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Do either of you guys do high rocks classes? No.
Yeah, we're High Rocks affiliated. One of the girls in the gym is big into it, and she wanted to start like a High Rock style class. So we were never gonna call it anything like rip-offy, you know what I mean? So we just affiliated. And then we basically run it on a Thursday evening, alongside, basically for us, Thursday for the CrossFit program is just like more heavy lifting. So we have like heavy lifting on the right hand side of the gym, and then the High Rocks class runs on the left hand side of the gym. We do it Thursday evenings and then one on a Wednesday morning, but that's it.
It's like outlift the runners and outrun the lifters, and they're side by side. Do you do anything like that, Jamie? Do you do any of those kind of
No,
classes?
I remember reading an article early on about the curse of the speciality class. I think it was another affiliate solution one. And from that point, we've never done it again. Each to their own. It's just something that we found when we introduced a speciality class. The uptake initially was huge. Then it would potentially drop off, and if you wanted that valuable time back into the timetable, you would have a group of people who absolutely loved it, like 3 or 4 people who still wanted to do that class. And once you removed it for the greater good of like the other 22 people that could service that time, that group of 4 were absolutely furious. So in our program, we just try to make sure we hit a good amount of strength, a good amount of conditioning, good amount of gymnastic stuff, but no speciality classes really. Sundays are like a little bit lower skill, and we do chuck in the sleds, but you've seen our sleds, they're not like turfs, they're not like they're like wheeled
torque tanks,
and we'll put them in, and if that makes it high rocks, you know, it's a longer CrossFit workout.
So you've been open for 11 years. How long did it take to get to a point where you could support this? I'm guessing like it's, built year on year, but was there a tipping point of, you mentioned that you did that affiliate solution thing. Was it long after you started implementing changes that you were like, oh shit, I'm in a position to reinvest in either staff or the facility?
Yeah, so the tipping point was probably after going on that seminar, and that made me really dial into the numbers and the overall business model that we were running. I'm not coming at it like a all out and out pursuit of profit. I think it just needs to create revenue to support the people who were within it. So we initially started out at £45 a month in 2014. Okay, and I did that purely out of professional insecurity. The people in the area were charging about £45 a month. Newcastle is not like an affluent suburb of London, or it's not a massively affluent area.
So we started that's $58 for any Americans watching. So $58 per month for a membership.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started out at that, and then quickly realized if to support more people, we needed more members because we needed more revenue. So we put more members in, and And then because we had more members, we needed more staff and we needed more equipment. So we needed to spend more money, and to service that extra outgoing, we needed more members. And you can kind of see how this is like layering on. Because the price wasn't high enough, we were constantly trying to put more members in to then service this higher cost. But then with the extra members, we had a higher cost again. And the model never worked. It just, unless there was that like tipping point in the price where if we added more people, we wouldn't just get a multiplication of financial problem. We would start to get a decent amount of return off it. We just had to set the bar at a certain level, and that was a game changer for us. We started introducing gradual price increases. We just made sure that every penny was reinvested into the business, and that members could see where their extra cost was going. Try to make it as professional as possible.
What's your membership now?
It's 168 a month.
So what's that in? Oh shit! So $220 ish. How long? So when did you start increasing your prices?
Pretty much immediately. So
over the last, say, 8-9 years or 10 years, you've just slowly. And is it just? Did you have a set percentage in your head of year on year? Did you have an end goal, like, or has it just changed and shifted over time?
We now do have an end goal. We do have like revenue figures that we want to hit. We want to try and get over like the magic 83,333 pounds 33 pence a month, because that's just over £1 million turnover a year. That's purely just as an exercise to see if it can be done in a single location. And not in a really affluent metropolitan area like London. And off the back of that coach and pay scale that we talked about, the only reason we can give coaches professional wages is if we charge enough. If you think about, I'll go off on a rant here, but if you think about the different sort of levels of fitness training that people can access, like we've got Pure Gym. So what's that, like 20 quid a month, £20 a month, something like that. And then they have to have 5,000-6,000 to service that. Then we go up to
their model is the opposite of CrossFit model, isn't it? Where it's like, we want people to join, but forget they've joined and maybe not show up, the direct debit will just keep coming out.
Exactly. At our side, at the other side of that, like we are only ever going to get like max, like we're pushing the boundaries really at 400 people in this site. If we went any bigger and took extra space, then we're incurring extra overheads, extra rates, extra rent, and then the whole process starts again. We can't be anything but premium. We can't be anything but high end. There is no option in a coached service. A coach is really only going to be able to look after, like, arguably let's just say somewhere between like the 15 and 25 range per person. So we have to charge a premium price, because the model is just not going to work if it's a low price point. We're essentially would be charging a price point for the mass market, but running a service. And once we had that realization and really implemented that, it's massive. We can do more events. We can, like you say, pay coaches more, and when we pay the coaches more, we're much less likely for them to just stick around for like 1, 2, 3 years and then exit to get another job because they've got like a family to feed or a mortgage to pay or whatever. They're much less likely to age out and join the fire service or the police, or that's what they usually do if they age out of CrossFit. I feel they go to a vocational or like active job. And I think that's the way. I'm not saying this is the correct way for everyone. It's just what we've kind of worked towards and what works for us at the moment.
Do you think like a lot of gym owners get stuck where you were initially, of saying, maybe not be fully confident I mean, I'm sure they're confident in their abilities, but not be fully confident in other people's trust in their abilities to say, okay, it's £200 or, you know, $200 a month or whatever. And that they're afraid, well, shit, if I put it at that and nobody comes, then what do I do then? Or if I only get 3 members, I can't lower it then after I have those 3 members. I'm kind of stuck. So people probably start conservatively, but then maybe get stuck there and then get stuck in a cycle of kind of what you were saying there, where it's like, all right, I need more money. Okay, I need more members. Okay, I got no more members. Fuck, I need another coach. Okay, I need more money. Okay, I need more members. Fuck, I need another coach. And then they're kind of, you know, laying down track in front of themselves or chasing their tail a bit. Like that has to be common.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we could do it super simple. Let's say if we look at some like really basic figures, we'll not go too deep into this. Let's say average gym's probably got like 140 members, something like that. 150, 140. I think there's some sort of like rule, isn't there, that you can only maintain a relationship with like 150 people before it starts to fall a bit. So if it's a single owner operator getting up to like say 130, 140 people, and they're going to charge even, let's say, £100 a month, they've got 14 grand a month coming in. Let's say a really, really good profit margin in a industry like we run is going to be 20%. So that's 2,800 a month we've got left over. The tax man's going to come and take 25% of that, unfortunately. So we're left with 2,100 before we even do our income tax after that. So let's say we take another 20% off that, so we're down to 0.8 of that. We're kind of walking away with a membership base of about 140 and £100 a month. We're walking away with about £1,700 in our back pocket to live off, which is just over £20,000. For the amount of hours that you're going to do, for the amount of work that you're going to do, for the amount of everything that you're going to put into it, you can definitely do it and say you're a bit of a missionary and that doesn't matter. But the bills need paid, and on that, you're probably not going to be able to provide a career path where you can bring other people on. And that obviously that's UK based. I'm not sure what the taxation system's like in state.
Yeah. So it's basically like you're on, unless you get it right or realize, you know, that you need to change something or have a massive facility.
But even then, you're going to incur your overheads are going to be higher because you've got like huge rent, business rates.
So it all
everything
comes down to the
scales.
membership cost, really.
I think so. And if you can't get that value to the right level, I think it's going to be difficult. And CrossFit's, we all know it's worth it. We all know it's worth it. And like, as long as you keep your facility clean, as long as you turn up on time, you put out coached, considered classes, take care of the members, I think it's worth it. No matter what part of the country you're in, I think it's worth 120 plus at least.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because I think like I've had similar conversations with other people, and the thing they tend to come back to is that it is that kind of vocational point, like that a lot of people view it as, oh, well, I'm helping people and it's the people that I'm doing it for, and I'm not doing it to, you know, to make money, or I'm not doing it to increase the profit or whatever. But I guess the counter to that would probably be like, yeah, but you want to make the facility as nice as you can possibly make it and the coaching as good as you can possibly make it. And you want to, like, your members might be a little bit annoyed if you say, all right, we're going up $50 or £50 or whatever, but they'll probably be more annoyed if you say, look, guys, it hasn't worked out, I have to close. Here's a list of gyms in the area.
There's 150 members in your community that's out to the wind, and like, you know, the thing that was potentially kind of holding them together, physical, mental, emotional health, like all of it has potentially gone. Yeah, it's everyone's decision how they want to play that, but I think it's an interesting thing to think about, and almost working backwards from that 20% profit margin, and that as well is actually quite, I would say, quite a good profit margin in what we do in large group training and service. That's where we're at.
What do you think you're, rowing against the current a little bit? Like, do you think the majority of affiliate owners think the other way? Like, I think it's kind of annoying that he's gone now. I think Johnny's kind of on the other side of, well, what's the least I can charge to keep the members coming, and that, like, he's kind of that mindset. I think JR is too. Like, do you think that you're maybe out on your own a bit viewing it this way?
Well, we're charging the least we charge as well, but we have 16 members of staff. Like, we spend, like, our outgoings are somewhere in the region of 45 to 50,000 pounds a month. So we need to make that before we even make a penny, and that's like a big responsibility to keep that going. We're charging the lowest viable amount possible. It's just that viable amount seems to land at where it is at the moment. Find me a CrossFit affiliate owner that's driving a Lambo. It's just not gonna happen. You're in the wrong industry. But I think we owe a bit of an obligation, if we're going to employ people, to try and give them like a viable wage. And that comes from a certain price point, I think. It'll also depend on your rent and your situation and stuff like that. And but I think it's definitely something to consider. Working backwards, like taking all the costs out.
I feel like we've probably answered this. These are, sorry, I put up a question box on Instagram. What is a sustainable price point for an affiliate to grow a team of professional staff? We've kind of covered that, I feel, haven't we? Like, that's a membership price, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
So you're saying you take that 20% and work backwards?
Figure out all your costs, and then there's got to be a 20% on top of that, ideally. And it's not going to be that some months. We replaced a load of bumper plates, a load of boxes, like all that stuff and it was like, $5,000 gone pretty quickly. If you're delving onto the Rogue website, it's gone super quick, So I'd say try and work out all your costs, like put them in a table, everything, and then put 20% on top of that and divide it by the number of members that you currently have, not what you're going to get to. And then that would be roughly where you need to be at, I think.
Do affiliates owe their clients affordability? I mean, provided like you're saying, you're at your lowest possible price that you can be at to keep the system
I know who sent that in.
Still going. So then it's no, right?
I don't believe so. It was actually, it's something I've talked about with a couple of people, saying why do we owe them affordability? We owe them an unbelievable service. We owe them the best benefits of the CrossFit methodology we can possibly give, but we owe ourselves, and we owe our coaching staff and all our staff the life that they need to lead as well. So I don't think we owe our members affordability. We owe them the best possible service at the price point that we can viably run.
Thoughts on, sorry, that's my very Irish accent came out there. Thoughts on supporting extra work outside of normal programming for personal goals. So like if someone's following competitive programming or, doing their own bits in open gym and stuff. What do you think of that?
We don't have a huge amount of that at all. The culture of the gym that we operate, it's not driven towards the competitive side at all. And I mean, you were there. You saw the standard. It's pretty high across the general population, but in the gym members. But it's not like driven towards pushing for like local competitions or anything like that. If people want to do it, great, but it's not the logical step. I find that demographic is probably in the range of mid to late 20s, all the way up to like probably about 55 before they get into the masters. They're super busy people. They've got busy work lives, busy family lives. They just want to absolutely squeeze the most out of that hour of fitness possible. And there's a very, very small percentage that can then like do the class, then jump into open gym and do like zone 2 for like whatever. It's not going to happen. They need to get home.
How do you find new members? I think we kind of asked that. How do we find new members?
That's a good point, though. It's a good point. So again, like if we're going to delve into the numbers, when we were gaining more people, we kind of leveled off with this like attrition meeting intake. I'll just briefly go into this. Well, let's say you're at 150 members. Okay, we'll keep using that figure, and let's say the gold standard for attrition is 3% per month. So we're going to lose 3% of our membership base per month. Okay, so we're going to lose. Is that right? 4.5? Yeah,
4.5 people.
So I shouldn't need a calculator for that. That shows my
4 people. Set. So
okay.
4 people and a child are going to leave every month.
Yeah. So let's say somewhere between 4 and 5 members are going to leave per month. Okay, and that is on the natural cadence of kind of people coming across your website and coming in. That's probably going to be achievable. At 300 members, we've got somewhere like 9-10 people leaving per month in the absolute best possible case. Okay, and then it just keeps going. It keeps going. Let's take like Dan Chaffee, 3,000 members. He's got to replace and find 90 people across that per month to stay at the current rate that he's at. So at that point, I find that organic intake is not as easy to grow with. You've kind of got to try a little bit harder to get people in, and it's not like we're going to try and get them in and show them that this is the best possible training program ever. We're not going to like sell them vapes or cans of lager or anything like that. We're doing a great thing, but it's just a consideration that when your membership number gets so high, the attrition figure in real terms is going to be like you're going to have to onboard and bring someone in like getting on for every other day.
Yeah. And
that like, let's take a coach who's potentially hasn't got many staff. Just to stand still and break even, you're going to have to onboard and bring in someone every other day. Like that's a lot of work. Until you've got the people and systems and procedures in place, it's going to be difficult.
What do you think people should think about if they were thinking of opening a gym? Like, what should they be thinking about?
What other opportunities exist in employment? No, it's super rewarding. It really is, but it's a lot of work. You've got to do a lot of things. You've got to be like a coach first and foremost, and like if the product's no good, you can have all the rogue equipment wrapped around it. You can have all the websites wrapped around it. But if the product at the center of it is no good, then it's just not going to work. I would just say like start out on the best footing by running some numbers and seeing what you think your market could accommodate in terms of like the viable, and there's some exceptions to this, like Moira is obviously like a huge exception to this. Like you could go, well, how many people are in our area? Like what does our demographic look like? Could it support our sort of minimum viable monthly amount? Like if we're in central London or whatever, and we need to charge 300 quid a month, are there enough people on that commuter route or whatever to make that happen? But then like you hear some stories of like Sam at Moira, like 4,000 people is it in the village, and he's got like 300 plus people. Like that's amazing. So there are some exceptions to the rule, but I would just do your research. Do your research.
Jeremy's asked, have you thought about doing what Sousa does? So Sousa works at local like fire departments and like goes to them and gives them basically like a mini. He's kind of developed his own course, like a mini level 1, and then coaches them beyond that. So he'd go and do like a workout with them once a week and whatever. Just could be a little source of income for you.
Goes to their
Yeah.
Nah, that sounds good.
Yeah. You don't own the place you're in now, sure you don't?
Not yet.
Will I ask next week? Will I get a different answer?
We're ongoing at the moment. We've been given an opportunity where we can buy it, and I think that's another thing. If we can try and create the best financial situation for the business possible, then we can build up potential reserve fund. So when other opportunities become available, we don't have to go and get some ridiculous credit from the market. You're in a much better place to deal with potential problems, but also you're in a good place to deal with potential opportunities when they arrive. So we do currently rent, and we've invested in like a mad amount of money into the place to get it to the standard that it is. But hopefully it'll all pay off, and we are in the process of thinking about purchasing our building.
Interesting. That's cool. All right. I'm gonna leave there. We've done an hour. I feel there's still plenty more to cover, but I mean, there's no end to these shows, so it's great. I'd love to have you back on, even with JR. It's JR's birthday today, so everybody should go and message JR and say happy birthday. And it was Johnny's birthday like 2 days ago, which is weird. There's like 2 coaches who've had a profound effect on me, and they're both born within like 2 days of each other. That was weird. Okay. Thanks, Jamie. We're going to do this again. I think we're going to do this show every like 2 weeks. So we'll try and someone saw my dog out the back. He's gone now. There's a little pug. Okay. Thanks, Jamie. We're going to do this every couple of weeks. You can go and watch the video I did, short little like 4 or 5 minute video on methods 25.3. And then I'm currently working on a longer, basically like this kind of talk of how Jamie's gotten his gym to a successful position. All right. So if anybody wants to watch that, go and watch it. And then the other video will be out soon. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And Johnny, he's probably gone back out in the driving range, I guess.
Yeah.